Off we go. Hi, everyone, and welcome to Creatives Connect Awakening the Chakras. Today we've got Femke from Rosewood Wellbeing. Hi, and welcome.
Thank you very much. I just popped myself on mute while you were talking.
Oh, no, that's fine. I'm just going to put this chakras on the screen, getting to know the chakras, just so you can give us a little bit of an idea of what we're going to do today. So, Femke, do you just want to share what you do as just a little bit of an introduction before we go into the chakras and why you wanted to do this topic?
Yeah. Hi everyone. I'm Femke Williams. I own Rosewood Wellbeing. I'm based in Workshop and have a room here at home. So I'm a holistic therapist and I'm also a wellbeing artist and coach, mentor. And it was back in 2011 when I decided to embark on learning about natural therapies. I was nursing before that, so I'm a former nurse. But then at that time, when my kids were school going, I decided that I wanted to learn more about natural therapies and do more in preventative healthcare. And that was, I've never looked back from there. That was the best thing I ever did because I learned about reflexology, and reflexology introduced me already then to the whole chakra system. And I was like, wow, how did I not know about all of this before? And it really set me actually on my own healing journey as well, and learned about ways that obviously energy is, well, everything is energy, that we are energy, and that we're connected in such a way to nature. And we have this expanding aura around us, and the chakras are a way for us to let energy in and out, and our bodies are just absolutely amazing, and learning about how our bodies remember every one of our life experiences. And it was at a time where I had some repressed emotions and stuff like that, subconsciously, because I wasn't aware that that's what was causing me to be unwell at times, to have unexplained aches and pains and emotions. And so through this journey of learning natural therapies, reflexology, Reiki, acupressure, and eventually came across chakra dance as well. So that was a movement, and I learned more and more about this energy world and how our bodies remember every one of our life experiences. So we have our joyful experiences, like from childhood, and our exhilaration, jumping on a trampoline, or like the excitement of the first kiss or something like that. So all those kind of memories we hold in our bodies. And we of course also remember the less joyful times, that feeling of maybe being bullied at school, or having no emotional parent support at home, or maybe some other trauma that we have experienced, a car crash or grief over death or family and loss, things like that. And of course, our bodies remember those things as well, because each of us has this energy body, and it's interconnected with our physical bodies. And it's that dynamic vibrational matrix containing our mental, emotional, and spiritual histories. And so for me, it was such an eye-opener, because it really helps me to release old emotional baggage, really. And chakra dance was a different way to really tap into very gently unfolding what was held in each chakra, because they all, of course, relate to different parts of our body, to different emotions. And when we have suppressed emotions, or we block that flow of energy, and often that's subconscious, then these memory and these feelings are buried. And that vibration of the trauma then becomes embedded, and they are woven into our muscles, into our joints, into our organs. And so these blocked feelings of guilt and shame and pain and fear, that is actually the tensions in our bodies, the illnesses and diseases that we don't understand. I work with people with burnout, either finding themselves in that downward spiral of ill health, or whether they have already developed chronic fatigue. That's kind of these illnesses and diseases we don't understand. But yeah, so in my work, I really kind of want to help people through that embodiment, releasing that blocked energy from our bodies, because it's a vital part of cultivating good health and well-being. So that's kind of how I came to do the work that I do now. I run workshops and day retreats, actually one with Rebecca Norton, who's also on here. And yeah, they are deeply healing practices for our well-being. And it's just amazing to learn about these and to see how we can see how this health system supports us, and it's always there to support us, and we can always tap into those energies as well. So that's kind of, yeah, that's how I came to do that.
Thank you for sharing. And we are going to do a proper workshop at some point. We haven't set a date yet, but we will let you know when we'll do some chakra. Well, you'll be doing this chakra dance, and then I'll do some sounding with the chakras as well. So this is a whole topic that we won't cover today, but we're just going to do a little bit of an introduction to what chakras are. Before we get started, does anyone want to just introduce themselves and share anything, like where are you in terms of knowledge of the chakras, or what's your experiences, or if you're watching this on replay, you can also type it out below or type it in the chat. Yeah, does anyone want to share? Yep. Wait, how do I unmute? Okay.
Adam,
Hi, Adam.
So just in terms of chakras, I have experienced connecting to my energy body. But I did a meditation that was just off the internet, like on a YouTube video, and it was like opening up your chakras. And I did that, and then I felt like this wobble, and I felt like I was connected to like something like spirit, for want of a better word, and I like to myself, but to connected to the universe, sort of. And I thought that was really cool and interesting. But a lot of the time, I've done like I've heard about chakras. Like I just recognize that mine are probably quite out of balance a lot of the time, and it's just I've heard that it's about meditation. And it's just I try to get stuff done, and I'm not doing as much on the meditation side. So it's just because it's not been a priority, and I really sort of feel that if I had a bit more spiritual hygiene, I could probably connect and feel better about myself more through the chakras. And so I'm happy to learn more about the chakra system.
Fab. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do right now. If you can just put your, yeah, that's it. Okay, so we've got some in the chat as well. Rebecca says, I've been on one of Femke's chakra dances classes. It was very great. And Yvette says, I went on a tantric yoga weekend and we worked through our way through the chakras, through play, yoga, and meditation. It was very powerful. Fab. Okay, so I'm just going to put my screen and we're just going to do a quick meditation slash explanation of the chakras. So we'll start in with the root. So your root is stability, safety, abundance, and security. And in order to connect with the chakras, you go to the part of the body which that chakra is associated with, and there's a colour associated with, and there's often sounds as well. But we'll start with the colours for now. So basically, if you can close your eyes if that feels comfortable for you, and just become aware of your whole system. And just notice your body. And just start to picture the chakras in your body right now. And we're going to go to the root, which is the lowest part of your back. So right at the bottom of your tailbone. And just focus there. And breathe. Imagining the colour red expanding and expanding out beyond your body. So the red colour is just going to fill your body in that area, in the root, and then expand out beyond your body. So you've got like a circle around you, red. And as I say these words, just allow them to go into that part of your body. So stability. And I'm going to also do my singing bowl. Safety. Abundance. Security. Now imagine that you're going just above your root now to the front of your belly, so the bottom of your belly, underneath your belly button. You're going to go to the sacral chakra. This is the center of creativity, sensuality, pleasure, and enjoyment. So with this one, visualize the color orange and imagine that it's going out into your body and beyond your body. Just see this orange color. And just breathe. And just allow these words to go into that center. Creative. Play. Sensuality. Pleasure. Enjoyment. And if you want to just move that area, so just move around just where you're sat, but just circling that area. And feel the enjoyment. And then come to stillness. And moving up to the solar plexus, which is yellow. This is the center of power, assertiveness, confidence, and action. So visualizing the yellow color going from your body and expanding out, out, and out beyond your body. And just see these words coming into this center. And you can use the words, if you add I am, it becomes even more powerful. I am powerful. I am assertive. I am confident. I take action. Or you can just have the words themselves: power, assertiveness, confidence, action. Just see yourself shining brightly like the sun. And then come to your heart. This is the center of love, compassion, and empathy, forgiveness and caring. You can put your hands on your heart if this feels good to you. And just breathe. Feel the softness. Imagine a green colour is coming from your heart out and beyond your body, expanding the energy. And you can use the words, I am loved, I am loving, I am compassionate, empathic, I forgive, and I am forgiven. I care and I am cared for. And if anything is stimulated in this, as I'm saying these words, if anything comes up, just allow the emotion, allow the thoughts to just be there, and then come back to the center that we're on, and back to the color. Now going up to your throat, this is communication, self-expression, and sharing. You can place your hand there if it's helpful. Imagine the color blue is expanding from the center of your throat and out beyond your body. And you can say things like this: I speak, I sing, I am expressive. If you want to do that now, you can either mute yourself or just say it. It doesn't matter if you're okay with people hearing you. You can just make a sound. Just say, I communicate, I'm expressive, I share my voice. And also you can make some sounds, so hums, because this awakens the throat chakra. Now going to the third eye. So you've got the third eye is in between your eyes, so the middle of your eyes. And this is the center of psychic intuition, visions, and clear seeing. So just vision the color. I can't remember which one it's called. I don't know, Femke, if you can remind me if is it violet or lilac? I can't.
It's indigo.
Indigo.
Color of the night sky. Yeah.
Okay. Indigo color. I get confused about them. So indigo, the color of the night sky, and just visualize this color coming from your third eye. You might feel a sensation or see visions. Just allow whatever you can see in this place. Also, take note of your ear chakras. They're not on this chart, but your ears are connected to the eyes as well and the throat. So just listen. You can also visualize pink for the ears as well, an opening. And have the words, I see, I have clear vision, I'm insightful. And just see what can you see, what's there. And then finally going above your head. So this is the crown area. This is your connection to the higher realms, God and oneness, connection to all things. And this color is also a purple.
Violet. Yeah,
Violet.
violet,
There we
white.
go.
Yeah.
Violet. It can also be white, I think, sometimes. Violet, light. So just visualize a crown above your head of violet light. And then also see above this this is your like a down where you can download information from the universe, from source. So just visualize bright white light coming into your crown chakra from the heavens. Just so we don't stay up there, we're just gonna bring that light down into the third eye so you can see. Bring the light down into the throat so you can speak. Bring it into the heart so you can love and be loved. Bring that light into the solar plexus so you can do and take action. Bring it into the sacral so that you can enjoy your manifestations and have pleasure in your life. Bring it finally into the root chakra so that it's grounded. And now take it even further into the earth so that it's even gone further down so that it's fully grounded into the earth. This is often called the earth star chakra. There's other chakras as well further up, but we're just going to use the basic ones for now to not get too complicated. But when you're ready, start to open your eyes, feel the connection to all your chakras, and you can move if you need to. I'm just going to do the bowl 3 times. So, let us know if you want to put your camera on, if you want to speak, or if you want to type in the chat. How was that for you? What did you notice? Which chakras did you feel were aligned? Which ones maybe need a little bit more tuning? Femke, do you want to start off? How was it for you?
Oh, I always love these meditations. And I think because, like Adam was saying, he wants to learn more about the actual system and the chakras. But of course, when you start, you can already, when you focus on that particular area, it's really to bring out awareness there. So we're actually coming out of our head and it's just a feeling. It's really focusing on the feeling and what is unfolding there. What are we feeling? And so, yeah, I think for me, there's always the throat. That kind of really, I've done a lot of work on the throat chakra area and the sacral. I think they are both really connected, and it's about that, expressing our emotions in a healthy way. So we're finding routes that are healthy for us to express our feelings, because oftentimes, like I said earlier, we end up repressing certain experiences and memories, and they come up later in life, and then we don't understand why we're feeling a certain way. But it's like an ongoing process as well. So once you start working with energy, and energy it's emotion. Emotion is energy in motion, isn't it? So it's like it's ever changing as well. So 1 week we may not feel the same as another. Stuff happens, of course, all the time as well. Life throws curveballs, but once we learn to work with that energy, knowing that we can tap back into that center, and feel how we can calm ourselves. It affects, all along the spine as well. It's that vagus nerve. So that can then kick in as well to take away some of that anxiety around whatever may be happening in our lives. And it's an ongoing process. So we're always learning and always evolving and growing. And yeah. So this meditation that we just did, you learn, the more you do it, it's a practice. So you set an intention to maybe practice it every day. Maybe if it's just 5 minutes, to do like you did, like visualize that light, and just let it in and let it expand, and let it in and let it expand, and let it in and let it expand. And so we're receiving, because we often end up not receiving. We end up giving a lot in our day, it's like full on, busy, busy, busy. And then we don't take the time to actually take a moment to restore ourselves and, receive some of that beautiful energy. So, yeah.
Thank you. Does anyone else want to share how it was for them, or which chakras stood out the most?
So while we're waiting on maybe some chat messages as well, or if somebody wants to speak,
Yeah.
But it may be good to kind of have a go through quickly how it actually manifests in the physical. I think Yvette has just messaged something. If you want to read that first, Yvette. Gemma?
I could feel each area opening up and spreading out, could feel sensations moving up and down my spine. I found that when we got to the throat, I was also holding my sacral chakra as well, and could feel the connection between the two. Yeah, that's what you were just saying as well, wasn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
I could feel a lot of heat in the crown chakra. Solar plexus and heart space need some work. It's a good self-analysis. It's great to be able to witness it and know your strengths and know where the weaker areas are. And the more you do it as well, the better we get at diagnosing ourselves, I suppose, and just being able to tap into the areas of need. Adam, did you want to?
Yes,
join?
Yeah, just so from when I was younger, I always used to have sore throat, and it's definitely related to expression. And when I was younger, I had more of a stutter and more of a like it was difficult to put words together, and that's just because I was never allowed to speak, so I found it difficult. And in fact, sometimes now I've found that obviously in the right manner, shouting in the right manner helps because it's just if you've never expressed yourself, the power's never gone through the circuits kind of thing. So I just I found in the past my throat chakra was off, but I could sort of feel that on the inside. Like I felt the energy wasn't right there. These days it's mainly the sacral and the solar plexus just seem to get knotted a lot. And that's where I felt today. Weirdly, my root and my crown always seem to be fine, but it's just that the solar plexus and the sacral, they just seem to go out of alignment sometimes, and then it just wobbles like me. And it's that sense of identity of like I am this person because because basically when I was younger, I wasn't allowed to stand up for myself. This just wasn't an option, and so it's like now when you try to stand up for yourself for the first time, you come across as aggressive, so people don't like it. But the thing is that it's if someone hasn't stood up for themselves a lot, it's really good for them to stand up for themselves. And so it's important that they express that. So I guess I just need to work on like identifying with my chakras and especially just trying to balance the sacral and the solar plexus, which I feel is like at times a bit off.
Yeah. Yeah. When you work on the one chakra, it will always also have an effect on the other chakras because they are all interconnected. But then it does open up more of a way to see where we may have other imbalances as well. And the sacral chakra, like we said, very much connected to the throat chakra because it's about expressing yourself and speaking your own truth and doing that in a loving way. And so we often feel that when we can start to actually express ourselves and we can say things and we we can speak up when it matters, that then we come across as aggressive because we want to get a point across, and we feel safe maybe to say what we want to say, because a lot of it is around safety as well. But then it's about, again, bringing it back down to that sacral where we can be more softer and feminine, because that's our feminine center, which is in each and every one of us. So we may feel that masculinity wants to take over and say, look, I'm here. Can you hear me? Am I being heard? Because that's been repressed. And then it's finding that balance between the masculine and the feminine centers, because we all each have them and we all each need them. So yeah, they are all connected to our, physical awareness as well. So orange, if it's like, it becomes underactive or it becomes overactive. So if it's underactive, it could be that we don't feel much open to other people's opinions, and we just want to get our point across, and we may be unemotional about it. If it's overactive, we may be very sensitive and we may be over emotional, so cry at the drop of a hat. And so again, it's finding the balance within the chakra. The solar plexus is all about that confidence, as Jemma was saying, that feeling in control, having your own dignity. And if it's underactive, it could be about feeling passive and indecisive or apprehensive. And if it's overactive, it could come across as imperious or aggressive even. That reactive response that we then have. So yeah.
Yeah, the solar plexus more. I'm feeling the solar plexus more in terms of that's where the issue is, whatever the issue is. So yeah.
Yeah. That's the solar plexus is all about that. It's our own inner sunshine, isn't it? It's our own personal power. So we also can then set these kind of healthy boundaries for ourselves. We can say no to certain things. We can say yes, but no further than that. So that we're, being, we're setting our boundaries, but we want to do that in a loving way. We don't want to come across as aggressive. We just want to say, yeah, I understand your point of view, but this is how it makes me feel, and therefore this is a no. And then we feel that we can do that without feeling guilty or trying to kind of find approval from others. We're making our own decisions and we know what's right for us. And that's that standing up for ourselves, and that's more masculine energy. But we want to do it in such a way that we have love and compassion for the other still, and towards ourselves as well. And that everything has to come through the heart. This is our higher chakras and our lower chakras, and the heart is like the regulator. It's amazing how the system just works. And sometimes some of our chakras become overactive, and sometimes we close them down, and we do that maybe subconsciously. But if we have loss or a lot of grief, then sometimes we close the heart chakra down because we just don't want to deal with it right now. Until we find the time to process it, because it will always come back, for us to process any emotions. So yeah, does that make sense?
Yeah, that's great.
Thank you. Thanks, Adam.
Thanks.
So I think, did you have a meditation you wanted to do as well? Or if anyone...
Yes, I think we can do that at the end. Are we already into, oh my gosh, yeah, we've got 20 minutes left. Is it about an hour or 45 minutes?
Yeah, an hour. But obviously at the end might want to do a few sharings as well.
Yeah.
If anyone else wants to share about that one as well, feel free to do that now. And if not, we'll move on to the next meditation.
I'll just kind of, before we go into that, and if people are typing, just to go through, how I said how about when it's overactive or underactive, what kind of symptoms people might experience in their lives, just to get an understanding about if you're dealing with this, and it's most likely to do with the root chakra, for example. So with the root, you know, and if that physical awareness, stability, and security, if we feel that, or if we have an underactive sacral chakra, we may be fearful, you know, we'll have that lack of safety. We may come across as nervous or maybe feel unwelcome.
This is the root. You said
The
sacral.
root chakra.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if it becomes more overactive, then we may become really materialistic or greedy as well. So that's where that kind of, you know, that comes from, insecurity and having to have stuff and holding on to it so tightly that we become greedy.
I'm just gonna put the thing on again so people can see which one we're on.
That's right. Yeah.
So
that's
sacral.
the root, and then the sacral, we kind of said if it's underactive, you are unemotional, impassive, you know, you dissociate really, and you don't really, you're not really in touch with your emotion, but you could also not be open to others maybe. If it's overactive, then you could be seen as really sensitive, over emotional, and also sexual. Often people can become addicted to pleasure. So the solar plexus is about that confidence, that feeling control. It's about that taking our rightful place in this world. And so if it's underactive, we may be passive and indecisive. We may feel apprehensive about things. If it's overactive, maybe imperious or come across as aggressive or reactive. The heart is about love, caring, compassion towards ourselves and towards others. If that is underactive, we can be seen as cold. You know, when it's more closed, then we feel cold and maybe unfriendly. If it's overactive, then people may be too loving. So you see that too, where people are smothering and wrapping up their children in cotton wool and afraid to do anything because they're just suffocating them. And this can actually be seen as selfish as well, because it's all about them and what they want. But they're also overgiving, though, but half the time not looking after themselves. But again, it's about finding the balance between the two. We want to be caring and loving, but we also want to be able to show compassion and kindness, to let your children go, basically, or in a relationship, any kind of relationship. Throat, that beautiful sky blue, about self-expression, communication, speaking your own truth, and doing it in such a way that you're not ramming it down somebody's throat. You know, they also understand other people's points of view, and that they are at different levels of development as well. We're all on different levels of growth and development, and we all make our own choices about whether we want to do something with that or not, or do our own deeper inner work or not. But when your throat chakra is underactive, then often you see that people don't speak much and they are seen as really shy. When it becomes overactive, maybe people are speaking too much. And the energy is...
Oh, go on. Just finish it off, but I want to just speak on that.
Yeah, and people can be seen as speaking too much. They are annoying almost, and you know, they are also really bad listeners. Is that something you recognize in the throat chakra?
Well, I was just going to say that I recognize within myself that I'm both overactive and underactive in the throat.
Yeah, it can be.
So I just wondered if anyone else relates to that, where you might overshare in certain situations and undershare in other ways. So maybe you might be worried about something, but you're going to talk about something else. Do you understand what I mean? But then you're not actually saying the thing that you need to say.
Yeah.
So I sort of see that as like overactive, but also underactive, because you're not able to actually share your truth, but then you might be sharing a lot of nonsense.
Absolutely. I think Adam put a thumbs up there, so I think he can relate to that as well. You were talking about that earlier. Yeah. And then just quickly going up the third eye chakra, if that's kind of underactive, then often you see people that really look up to other people to think for them, you know, so they don't trust their own intuition, their own you know, decisions, and so they rely on their own beliefs too often, but they are very confused about that. So they look up to others to make decisions for them. And if it's overactive, then people can live in this world of imagination. They're daydreaming all day. And if it's really extreme, they get these hallucinations. And the crown chakra. And
third eye is very powerful. Just got a comment. The third eye is very powerful.
Yes, absolutely. And it is all of being in touch with that clarity and our own, vision, and seeing that clearly and allowing it, because it's our intuition. So we need to trust it. It's a lot about trust, isn't it?
Probably.
And so if the crown chakra is overactive, then or underactive, then it's more that, we are not really aware of that worldly connection. People are just there's no prejudice, things like that. And when it's overactive, then they kind of, then they just spiritualize everything over the top. Everything is, spiritual, and they just
no practicality.
It's like, so if it's really extreme, then you get people to actually ignore the basic needs, food and water and shelter. They just, because it's not necessary, because they are, spiritual, and you don't need that. So so yeah, definitely need to find the balance in all of these chakras.
Yes, thank you for that. That's really important information to understand when you're overactive and when you're underactive, because that, then you can find the balance. Because if you're overactive in one, then you can shift it to where you're starting from, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I hope that made sense. And it's like overactive, we don't do that kind of consciously, of course. We end up closing curtains off, and they become underactive because we decide that, subconsciously, that these are not
wanted or not safe.
Not safe to deal with, or whatever it is. And then the others can compensate for that and become overactive, or aim to balance it out. If that makes sense. Yeah.
Okay, shall we put the chakra dance?
Yeah, so we're going to do with some of the music from Chakra Dance. So I don't think we're going to be doing any movement, but you can do if you want. If you wanted to stand up and just tune into the chakras, I'm going to take you with a few affirmations through all of the chakras, but because the governing heart chakra in between the lower and the bottom, the higher chakras, we're using that type of music. It's a certain frequency. So I hope you can all hear that when Jemma puts it on. Can you all hear that? I hope so. If not, then just...
How do I go back to
I can hear you, so I hope it's okay. Can't hear it, so...
Okay. We'll just listen. I don't know, we'll just...
Yeah. This is just on Spotify, and it's Chakra Dance, 70s to Freedom.
I'll put links.
Rebecca, I love this music. Can you hear it?
We'll just carry on, and then they can put their own.
I can also hear it. Okay. Take a nice deep breath. In and out. Just stand up. Just take a moment. Just initially focus down on the root chakra at the bottom of your spine. Feeling your feet firmly planted on the ground. And just breathe into that beautiful red colour that you find at the bottom of your spine. Just connecting with the earth. Just little bit of movement into the legs. Just start to sway. Finding that rhythm. And just imagine setting the intention for this root chakra. Or whisper to yourself, I no longer have to worry about not having enough. As I am a clear channel for abundance in all its forms. Moving up to the sacral chakra. 2 inches underneath the belly button. This beautiful orange color expanding out there. Whisper to yourself, I don't need to keep numbing my pain and my emotions. Just bring some movement into your hips. I don't numb my pain with alcohol or food or mindless TV. Instead, I'm able to express my feelings, release them, free them up to receive genuine pleasure. Moving up to the solar plexus, just above the navel. Imagine a beautiful yellow color emanating from this chakra and expanding out. Breathe into that chakra and whisper to yourself, I am no longer overgiving from a place of burnout. I know how to fill my cup. And I create and maintain sacred and powerful boundaries that serve everyone. Into that space and gently move up to the heart chakra. And just feeling your body become more loose. Bring some movement into your arms and your hands. Letting them be soft. Your heart center, it's the element of air. You're growing wings so you can fly. And whisper to yourself, my relationship doesn't feel draining or challenging. I lovingly address what needs to change. Co-create with the universe. Feeling your chest expanding as you breathe in or flying. Up to the throat chakra. This is the element of ether. It's formless, it's all sound. You might want to hum to yourself. Feel that resonance, that vibration in your throat, and whisper to yourself, I no longer need to keep playing it safe. I feel confident enough to speak up, speak out, do this lovingly, authentically, sharing my creative truth with the world. Moving up to the third eye chakra. Feeling that beautiful light into ajna, color of indigo. And whisper to yourself, I am no longer sleepwalking through my day. And this is actually the music that comes with the higher chakras. There's a little bit more rhythm to it. Tap into those rhythms and whisper to yourself, I am not sleepwalking through my days. I feel clear. I feel on purpose. I feel ready to commit to the next steps on my soul path. I am aware. I am aligned. I am rhythms for a moment. Letting the upper body become more loose. The neck becomes loose. As you slowly move up to the crown chakra. And connection to spirit. Crown of your head. That beautiful white light, that cord stretching all the way out of the universe. You are love, you are one. And whisper to yourself, I no longer feel confused or in the dark about which direction to take. Your intuition is so sharp, it feels like a constant guiding light. Trust. Breathe with your movements and find your own movements. Slowly, from the top of the crown, we're coming back down. Send that beautiful guiding light down back into the solar, sorry, into the indigo center of the eye. Back down to the throat chakra. That crystal cave where everything is shimmering and vibrating. Heart chakra. Feel free and light. Unhurt. Down to the solar plexus. Feeling confident. Down to the sacral chakra. Bending in your hips. Your serpentine movements. Your inner goddess. Back down to the root chakra. We know we belong to our tribe. Connect to Mother Earth. Feeling rooted. Take a nice deep breath in and out. And gently bring yourself back. Wow. How is everybody feeling?
I feel great.
Yeah, it's a little bit different, isn't it? Thumbs up from Adam. It really is something like, chakra dance, it's still pretty much, well, unknown, I suppose. It's like when yoga came into existence, nobody knew what it was, and everybody was like, well, what the hell, all this woo-woo stuff and all that. And chakra dance is at those stages, and so it's about learning how we can bring more of that movement, of that embodiment back into our lives, because working with the energies of the body, it's going to help us to understand all of those aches and pains and emotions that we don't understand right now.
Well, just to clarify, obviously these practices have been around for the ancient practices.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
In the West, we haven't had that access until recently to things like yoga, and now it's like chakra dance is more new. But yeah, it's I think it's a great thing that we can now practice them a lot more widespread.
This is it, and this is where we reawaken to all of those ancient practices and that wisdom that we all hold inside of us already anyway. But it's about just, bringing it back out. And so chakra dance is that fusion between that ancient wisdom and modern music.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good point, because you're using modern music, but it's like ancient practices. But then time doesn't really exist, so everything is kind of timeless in a way. It's
Yeah.
all into the now in a beautiful, beautiful way.
Great.
So it's
Any questions?
does anyone have any questions or want to share how that was for you?
Okay. That's fine. And your group is always open as well, so we can,
Yeah.
if anything comes up, or you feel, something as an aha moment, tomorrow or the day after, and just feel free to, continue with the discussion in there as well.
Yeah, I just wanted to share a couple of courses that I've got on my website as well. One of them relates to the throat chakra. Let me just share my screen. So if you're interested in working either one-on-one with me or with the online courses, there's finding your voice, which is all to do with the voice chakra, and then the creative principles, the creation principles, kind of I suppose it's more to do with probably solar plexus, getting stuff done, but also the sacral and the third eye for visioning and enjoying the process. I'd say it's probably those two. But yeah, so you can just go to my website, jemmarosenthal.com, and if you've got any questions or if you want to have a one-on-one session with me, I offer just have a chat with me for free, and then we can talk about what coaching might be suitable for yourself. And Femke, I think you do the similar thing with your sessions, as in, do you want to explain about your sessions?
Sorry, I went on mute there again. What you mean, the chakra dance sessions, or
any offerings that you've got, one-on-ones or chakra dance, anything you want to?
Yeah, I mean, at the moment, chakra dance is a monthly class in Redford. I'm gonna be hopefully doing one in August, which is not too far from Sheffield. So I'm just looking for different locations as well, to hold these classes, and not just workshop and Redford. But yeah, so you can find out more about that on my Facebook page, which is Chakra Dance with Femke. Other than that, I do work one-on-one with people. Often they are extended session, 1.5 to 2 hours, which are then kind of incorporating Reiki. I often do something as a creative exercise as well. So just drawing something of your feelings, and that includes some mentoring as well. And then I run the day retreats with Rebecca Norton, and the next one is on the 28th of July, which is coming up soon, next month. And so if you want to know more about that, feel free to get in touch with me or with Rebecca. These day retreats are also including the healing arts. So we use mindful walking, and we use playful painting with watercolor. And all of it is about relaxation, releasing any stagnant energies, and just having a wonderful day. So yeah, that's kind of how I work.
Yeah, the painting was really lovely as well. I went to one of the sessions.
Or the painting workshops, yeah. About it. Yeah. So I'm an artist as well, and I'm going to bring more art out into my work as well. Actually making and selling paintings, they are still kind of energy and well-being related. That's what I'm working on.
Watching this, and it's time for us. I'll probably, at the time, I'll pop the links to, if we're doing any workshop, then I'll be popping it under this video as well, for future reference.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, thank you everyone.
Fabulous.